a statement that I read in every case. After that, I'll hand the case over to case manager Alexis Enlow, and she'll get your names and spellings, swear you in, and then the commissioners will start. So bear with me while I read this statement. Good morning and welcome to the Philadelphia Fair Housing Commission. Again, my name is Allie D. Medeiros. I'm the attorney for the Fair Housing Commissioners. Also present today from the Fair Housing Commission staff is Ms. Alexis Enlow, the case manager who I mentioned. You'll also see Ms. Jomaris Castro Almeida. She runs our Zoom hearings for us. Before the hearing, I am required to go over a few things with you. First, you are being recorded. We record all our hearings. By remaining on the line and participating in the hearing, you are consenting to be recorded. Our Zoom hearings have the same force and effect as if we were in person. The only difference is on Zoom, we do not have a court reporter. In the event either party wants to appeal a final order of this commission, you can reach out to me or Ms. Enlow, and we will provide you with a copy of the video recording. Please be mindful of what you're saying and doing because it is being recorded. Second, at 10 o'clock this morning, the commissioners and myself, the attorney, met in a private executive session to discuss the day's cases. We do that on every hearing day with every case. The third, the parties had the opportunity to submit documents. I have the submitted documents saved on my computer and can share them with everyone on the screen. Please keep in mind that just because something is sent into the commission, it doesn't mean they've yet looked at it. The commission generally only reviews the very basic documents in a case prior to a hearing. If you would like a document reviewed by the commission, please reference it by name, date, or description so that I can post it on the screen for everyone to look at the same time. Lastly, during the course of today's hearing, it might be necessary for the commissioners to speak privately to make decisions in this matter. If they need to do that, they will invite you to join separate rooms divided by party called breakout rooms. A prompt will come on your screen at the appropriate moment asking you if you would like to join a breakout room. We will direct you to click join when you see that prompt. Once in the breakout room, please remain in that room. We will never end a hearing when you are in a separate room. Please make sure you're back in this main room and that a commissioner or staff member dismisses you before you log off or hang up. Thank you very much for listening. With that, I'm going to hand the case over to Ms. Enlow. Thank you.
Matter of Beverly Gunn and Stephanie Johnson versus Elizabeth Stubble Johnson. This is the first fair housing hearing for this matter. Docket number is 2025-03-31-20199. At this time, beginning with the tenants, can you please state and then spell your first and last name slowly and clearly for the record?
My name is Beverly Gunn. Beverly, Beverly. Last name Gunn, Gunn.
Thank you.
My name is
Go ahead, Ms. Johnson.
My name is Stephanie Johnson. STEPHANIE JOHNSON.
Thank you. Landlord, can you please state and spell your first and last name slowly and clearly for the record?
My name is Elizabeth Stäubler Johnson, ELISABETH, STEUBLE JOHNSON.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to swear the parties in. Can you please raise your right hands? Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I swear.
Yes.
Thank you. Counsel, can you please put your names on the record and state who you are representing?
Yes, Adam Weintraub Barth from Senior Law Center, representing Beverly Gunn.
My name is Daniel Connor, and I represent Elizabeth Stubble Johnson.
Thank you very much. The commission has 3 rules for today's hearing. First, do not speak over or interrupt each other, and do not speak over or interrupt the commissioners. Each party will have an opportunity to give testimony and present evidence. Second, please do not use generic phrases such as he or she. When you refer to an individual, please use the tenant, the landlord, or their name to keep the record clear. And third, when giving a date, please give a complete date that includes the year each time. The commissioners present today are Commissioner Sang, Commissioner Baez, Commissioner Brunson, and Commissioner Butler. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for appearing before Fair Housing today. As you know, this second hearing for case, there was a final order issued.
Hi, Commissioner Sang.
You can't hear me?
It's
Yeah, I can.
Okay. you're on a lag, so I'm gonna stop your video.
Okay.
Can you go ahead and talk a little and see if it's working?
Yes. So I said, welcome to Fair Housing. This is the second hearing that the parties are convening today. As you know, in the previous hearing, there was a final order. And so today we're going to have a very, very limited scope. Primarily, we want to make sure that the landlord had fulfilled its obligation from the last final order. And also we're going to talk about good cause and also retaliation today. So we're not going to get into any of the other documents that has already been disposed of at the last hearing. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask some preliminary questions to establish jurisdiction, and then I will move on for council. So first, these are questions for the tenant. So for the tenant, what is the address of the property in question?
101 Carpenter Lane. My apartment number is 4W, Philadelphia, PA 19119.
Thank you. Do you still currently reside there?
I do.
Okay. And then since the last hearing, the landlord was supposed to return the amount of $350. Has that happened?
Yes, that has.
Okay, great. So at this time, I'm going to turn this over to Tenants Council for any questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Sang. I want to very briefly just take the opportunity to call my client as a witness, Miss Gunn. Miss Gunn, since we were last here before the commission, you received another notice from the landlord. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And when do you remember receiving that notice?
Approximately the 20th of March.
Okay. And if yeah, Ms. DiMadeiro, perfect. Thank you so much. So I'm showing you the notice right here. From your understanding of this, what was the substance of this notice?
The notice indicates that they were terminating our lease.
Okay.
And that
go ahead.
We needed to be out of the apartment by the 20th of April. And the notice actually is dated March 14th of 25.
Does the notice give a reason for why they're terminating your lease?
Does this need to be?
Yes, it says that the landlord wants to make renovations with an empty unit.
Thank you. And even though we're not going to dwell on the past, was this similar in what was communicated in the notice that was subject to the prior fair housing hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to ask you about the conditions of the unit. Could you just kind of generally describe what the conditions in the unit are right now?
The conditions are, they're good. They're good.
Are there any things that you think are like severely needed repairs that impact your ability to live there?
There are no things that are severely impacts my ability to continue living at the apartment.
Okay. And are you in the last several months, has the landlord had anybody, either themselves or any experts, come in to do any investigating of the conditions of the unit?
No, they have not.
Have they ever done any kind of testing for mold, lead, anything like that?
Yes, they did.
Which and when was that, if you remember?
There was a gentleman that was sent out with a device to check the apartment for mold, and that was done in September of 2024.
Now, even though you were not the person who, hired that person, do you know generally what the results of that inspection were?
He indicated at the time that there was no mold.
Objection. I'd like to see the report.
I would too.
I'm asking to the extent that our client is aware that she is knowledgeable about the results.
Unless she spoke to that person, it's hearsay and inadmissible.
That person,
I'm,
Okay, Commissioner Singh, go ahead.
yeah, I'm going to omit it just for the limited purposes of showing what the tenant believes, not necessarily for the truth of it. So go ahead.
From your living in there, was any mold remediation work done after that point?
no,
Okay. Was there ever any other, like, I don't want to say major repairs, but any like significant repairs, at least from your understanding, done?
no.
Okay. And I don't have a lot more for you, but just very quickly, did the landlord indicate to you that they were going to give you 60 days notice to move out in this?
They did not.
Did they indicate that they would return your security deposit promptly prior to your move out?
They did not.
And did they give you did they notify you of your right to re-rent the unit once the renovations were done?
No, they did not.
And I guess just finally, are you aware of any, are they doing, from what you have seen, are they doing work in other units, or has there been major construction or renovations being done in common areas or other units that you're aware of?
No, I have
Objection.
not seen any of that.
So there was an objection, Mr. Connor, what's the basis?
Unless she has been inside another unit, how would she know?
Okay, so speculation, Mr. Weintraub Barth,
Yeah,
response?
you can lay some quick foundation, but also I'm questioning the probative value of this. So just very, very limited questions.
Sure. So, and I don't know if you want me to get into why it's probative, but I can also just lay the foundation. But have you spoken to any other tenants
I have.
about like whether there's any other about the nature of work being done in other units?
Yes, I have.
Objection again.
Basis?
Hearsay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sustain the objection.
Have you personally observed with your own two eyes or ears any other work being done in the building?
I have not.
Can you hear like, are the walls so thick that you can't hear other people in other units if you're walking in the hallway or in your unit? Can you hear other people
I can
around?
hear people.
Okay, so you haven't heard anything that would indicate to you that work was being done in other units?
No.
Objection.
Basis?
Okay, but I think we can move on.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's all I have.
Okay, can you, I didn't hear any questions regarding retaliation. Can you ask your client a little bit about that?
Sure. I'll just very briefly ask, you were last before the commission, the date of the hearing was let's see, that was in February, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when did you receive this notice?
About a day or two after I received the final notice from the commission, with their final order.
Okay. So you're saying you received this new lease termination notice a day after you received the order from the Fair Housing Commission?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know if the commission's going to be, will the commission allow me to go back into the context of the prior hearing of the L&I complaints at that time, or is
No.
that not relevant?
No, we're only dealing,
Well, I don't believe that's relevant.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
because
then
that issue's been disposed of. Okay.
then I have nothing further other than just getting into the timing of those the notice in relation to the hearing.
Yep, go ahead. Yeah, if you want to do that now, that's fine.
That's all I have. So I just asked.
Oh, okay,
that's all.
Okay, Mr. Connor, do you have any questions?
I just have a couple of questions. You have a month-to-month lease, correct?
Yes, at this time.
All right. And you were given notice to vacate on 2 occasions, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. The first occasion, you were given notice to vacate. The reason being is that Miss Johnson, the landlord, wanted to renovate the property because there was mold and a bunch of your stuff inside that apartment, and it couldn't be renovated unless the apartment was completely cleaned out. Isn't that correct?
Objection. Compound.
Mr. Connor, can you rephrase the question? And also, you're referring to the first notice that's already been invalidated from the previous hearing. So I understand how you may want to ask a question about that, but I just want to caution you to not go too far into
I think that, the notice to vacate was invalidated, but the reason behind as to why the landlord wants her to leave, as well as Stephanie Johnson, is still the same. It hasn't changed. Isn't that?
Yeah, so I understand that's the reason for why you want to ask a question about that. So I'm not saying you can't ask a question. I just want to caution you that it's very limited
Right.
on the first
I'll,
one. So yeah.
I'll rephrase it then.
Okay, great.
The reason why the landlord wants you and Miss Johnson to leave is still the same reason that was indicated in the first notice. Isn't that correct? You hear my question?
I did hear your question. That is what was indicated on the notice to terminate.
Okay. And after you got the second notice, then you filed this complaint saying that you were being retaliated against. Isn't that correct?
Yes, I am. That is correct. Based on,
I have no further questions.
Okay, do you have quick follow-up questions, Mr. Weintraub? Barth?
No, I have nothing further.
Okay, Mr. Connor, do you have questions for your client at this point?
Yes, briefly.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Ms. Johnson, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. What is the condition of the apartment?
Well, the condition, I haven't been in the apartment recently. The management company does inspections and goes in and looks what needs to be done, but we just have gotten several complaints from the tenants, and that there was a lot wrong with the apartment that needed to be done. They sent us pictures and lists of things that they felt like needed to be corrected.
And based on that list that they gave you, all right, it's your intention to renovate the apartment. Is that correct?
Yes, because of also the circumstances with the overcrowdedness in the apartment. The people that inspected the apartment felt like it was really too bothersome
This is
to
hearsay.
do the inspection.
You have to speak.
Mr. Weintraub, Barth has
Okay.
made an objection, I believe. Can you repeat that?
That's hearsay.
Well, I mean, the
Okay.
management company
Hold on a second,
inspects the
Ms. Johnson, you
apartments.
can't speak while an objection is on the table. Have you seen the report?
Which report? Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Which
The report
report?
they're referring to, I think you said the mold report, is that right?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen the mold report. Like I said, I have a management company that's my managing agent. They are taking care of a house. I just happen to live in the house as
Okay.
well. So
Okay. Mr. Connor, do you have a response to the tenants council's objection?
It goes to what her understanding is. It's not offered to prove the truth, but her state of mind as to why she wants the tenants out.
Okay, I mean, I think that's going to be very limited. So if you want to ask a couple more questions, we'll consider it. But I think somebody with actual knowledge is going to have to testify about that. But go ahead.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now, when you gave notice that they had to vacate, did you tell them to contact the property manager to find or to work out other options for them to live?
Yes, I did. I did. I mean, I can refer to the email that was forwarded, and I did let them know. You can see in that email, that they should contact, the gardener realtor, and also it was requested for an extension, and that was also brought up, and the management company did grant them an extension, but it was never confirmed by the tenants.
On December 18th, you sent an email to Stephanie, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to object to relevance on this. This all predates and was subject to the prior
It goes to the
complaint.
condition of the apartment.
Uh, does Ms. Johnson have personal knowledge of the condition of the apartment?
Like I said, I haven't been in the apartment. I'm not inspecting the apartment. I have a manager now, so I don't have to do this. So I have not been in the apartment, so I cannot account to that. I mean, the management company
Yeah.
sent
Ms. Johnson,
inspectors.
I'm gonna sustain the objection.
But you did send an email to Stephanie, correct?
Yes, I did send an email, right? I tried to explain to Stephanie why, I decided to take the apartment empty, that the apartment needed to be empty, and that, she should, Miss Johnson should contact Gardner, to help her, get an extension for the terms, or also, to help her find an accommodation.
Now, did she respond to that? She acknowledged that work had to be done in that
I'm
apartment,
objecting to
didn't she?
relevance on this whole line of questioning.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I'm gonna sustain that.
Was she aware of the fact that work had to be done in that apartment?
I'm
Yes,
going to object to
how
clarification
is
for
that?
who is she?
she
Who is
was.
she?
Well, did both tenants, were they aware that work had to be done in that apartment?
Yes. I mean, there are pictures. Even in the last hearings, we got piles of pictures that they sent out and wanted to show us what's all wrong with the apartment. Yes, they both were aware that that repairs needed to be done.
No further questions.
Okay, Mr. Weintraub, Barth, do you have questions?
No, I don't think I do. I'm going to leave it be.
Okay, so now I have a question for Ms. Stephanie Johnson. Because you do not have counsel, I wanted to give you the opportunity to speak or ask any questions for either other witnesses.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You wanted to ask me a question, or you want me to say?
I
What
wanted
I
to
know?
see if you have any questions for either the other tenant or the landlord, based on what you've heard today.
Well, I have a couple of questions for Miss Elizabeth. That's
Okay.
I call her Elizabeth. Is that okay if I could just call her Elizabeth?
That's
You
fine.
can call her landlord, that's fine.
Elizabeth, I did reach out to Gardner was hard. They never responded back when I asked them to help us or help me to find a new place, or if we could work around them. It was weird. that they never responded back to us. Or probably even you about it. There is some work that needs to be done. I will admit to that. But a couple of things that needed to be fixed were things they broke when they came to fix something else that they weren't even supposed to touch. That they touched something else to make the light in Beverly's bathroom go out. I don't know why they were even touching that when that's not what they were there for. When the young man came to do the ceiling, he knocked off half the ceiling and then didn't even fix it. He left it. I'm not sure. I mean, we could use stuff in order to make it work. It's just a compilation of my dad lived there for 12 years. It's basically mostly his stuff. I'm trying to get rid of it and sell it. He just died. And I just feel like I'm not giving a chance. Like, I can't move in a month. I'm sorry. I can't move in a month. There's way too much stuff in there of my dad's that I can't even lift. So I need at least a year so I can get help to move me out, find a place, get rid of his stuff and all of that. And I know Beverly's going to need at least a year as well to be able to move her stuff, find a place and all that. But Gardner has to be willing to work with us. They won't even answer us back. She got very hostile with Beverly. She's gotten hostile with me with the email she sends, and I'm not very nasty to her when I send an email. I know you're trying to do this through a management company, and I get it. It's a lot. There are 8 apartments. There are 8 problems. There's just a lot going on, and I get it. But could you please just give us a chance, a time to get out timely, not as soon as we have this hearing, like the last hearing, I felt like we had a hearing and you were going to give us some time and I was getting ready to find, and then you sent us another thing to evict us again, which I don't
Johnson,
understand that.
Ms.
I'm
Johnson.
sorry.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. I'm feeling that you're starting to talk in circles, and so I'm hearing a lot of
I'm
the same
sorry.
things. No, it's fine. It's just because we have time limits on this.
Limited time.
So
That's fine.
I do have some just one follow-up question.
Sure.
Is rent paid in full up to this point?
I have no idea because I cannot understand their system. They
Okay.
said they gave me back the $2,400 through that map when I thought they were supposed to be giving me a check, which would have been better, and I could have figured out what was going on.
Okay.
The $300 she paid us exactly. Then there was something else, and as far as I know, our rent is paid up to full. I've been
Okay,
paying
that's all right. You know what? I
the
think this
whole
might be
entire
better. This might be a better question for the landlord. So,
Okay.
this is for Ms. Stubble Johnson. Are the tenants' rent paid in full, and they're current?
I haven't gotten the statement from last month. I believe I did get a message from the management company office on the 6th or the 7th that they haven't received Ms. Gunn's portion of the rent. But I believe she corrected it and it did come, I think, by the 8th, whatever. So it should be paid up.
Okay.
As far as my understanding.
Okay. Do the other commissioners have questions at this point? Okay, so I think at this point we are ready to convene. So you're going to get a link for a breakout session, and please click on that link and do not exit the actual Zoom. And then once we have finished convening, we will let everybody back into the main Zoom session.
I just had one question for Ms. Johnson,
Mhm.
Okay. Which Ms. Johnson?
Stephanie Johnson.
Okay.
Ms. Johnson, you would admit that given the amount of stuff that's inside your apartment, it's impossible to do a renovation. Isn't that correct?
No, there are plenty of rooms to move the stuff from one room to another. If they say which room they're going to come into, we'll move it out of that room and move it into another. If it gives, but they have to give us time. Like they can't say we're coming tomorrow. No,
I have no
at
further.
least 2 weeks. Give me
Okay,
a chance to move it from one room to another.
okay.
2 weeks. Every time they want to do something.
Do the attorneys want to make brief final statements?
Yes, I would just very quickly like to say, it's clear the landlord has not been able to provide any information that she even knows what the condition of the apartment is. That would be the basis for giving the notice that she's now tried to give twice. In addition to that, the good cause ordinance 9804 12A9 says that when an owner gives notice saying that they're not going to rent during upcoming renovations, they have to give at least 60 days notice. They have to give notify that they're going to return the security deposit as promptly as possible prior to move out, and that they're going to give the tenant an opportunity to re-rent the premises once the renovations are complete. The landlord has not done any of those things. In addition, it's clear that by the timing of this, she submitted this new notice to vacate immediately after receiving the fair housing order. It was clearly in retaliation for that prior fair housing decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Connor.
That is simply not true. This is a month-to-month lease. The landlord has every right to give the tenants notice to vacate. The issue here is whether or not there is good cause. The landlord wants to renovate the apartment. Can't do that with the tenants inside there as well as their stuff. Just can't do it.
Okay, thank you. So we'll provide you with the link for the breakout session. Again, like I said, click on that, don't exit the Zoom, and then we will reconvene everybody after the commissioners have a chance.
So you should see an option to join. Please click join.
Can you resend mine? Sorry, I just missed it.
Sure. I think. I could probably, yeah. Let me move you. I don't know if we can resend it. Joe Maris, any idea? I can place you in the waiting room. That's okay. Okay. Mr. Connor, do you see an option to join a room?
No, I do not.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna place you in the waiting room as well. Just hang tight. So we should all be back. Can everyone nod to indicate they can hear me speaking? I think I see everyone nodding. Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Sang.
Okay, perfect. So the commissioners have convened and we are ready to issue a final order in this matter. So I'm going to tell you what that is, and then you're also going to get it in writing. So we find that the notice to vacate is invalid on its face because it does not meet the requirements of section 9-804-12A.9, which requires at least 60 days notice, and that landlord gives tenants the option to re-rent after repairs at market rates. And also the landlord must return the security deposit as promptly as possible prior to the move-out dates. Additionally, we also find that there is no retaliation. So again, you're going to get this in writing. Please let me know if you have any questions. If not, then the parties may exit the Zoom.
Mr. Connor, if you're talking, you're on mute.
I said, thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. Okay, everyone's okay to go if there are no questions.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
all.
Bye-bye.